Superman and Lois, Season 1, Episode 3, entitled The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower, starts out with Lois, Clark, Jonathan, and Jordan at home doing some remodeling, redecorating, and painting the family room. Lois, however, has gone through several colors of paint, and she's having a hard time choosing a final color. Clark and the boys are not exactly helping her with that decision because she just can't decide. Jonathan says something that irritates Lois, and she paints on his shirt. Then they all start being silly and painting each other. This is actually the first time we see them just all having fun, being weird, and being a family. During all this, Clark picks up something with his super hearing and quickly dashes out the door. On the other side of the world, a giant modern suspension bridge is breaking apart in China due to what I assume is an earthquake. As debris falls to the water and the ground below, Superman is having to dodge falling projectiles while flying. He saves several cars and even a school bus full of children. A huge section of the bridge cracks on both sides and starts to fall to the water on top of a man who is fishing, but Superman catches it and saves him. Back at home, which I assume is the next day, the Kent family is at the table having breakfast, and they are discussing Clark's super hearing. Clark tells them how it works and how far he can hear and how much he can hear. He talks about how he trained on the farm and at the fortress to learn how to control and to hone his powers to what they are now. In another part of the town of Smallville, Lana Lang Cushing and her husband Kyle are in front of a building waiting in their car for their oldest daughter Sarah Cushing, who is in her therapy session with her psychologist Dr. Lawrence. Lana and Kyle get into a small argument about Sarah's therapy in the episode of her taking a bunch of her mom's pills almost a year ago. Sarah comes out and gets in the truck, and she can feel the tension between the two, and she jumps on her mom because her mom keeps asking about how it's going. They drive off and take Sarah to school. Sarah and Jordan meet up with each other at school in the hallway, and he asks if everything is okay since she was not in first period class. She just tells him that it's family drama and stuff like that. As Jordan starts to talk to her more, Sarah sees her asshole boyfriend watching her and walks off, but in the process she completely ignores her boyfriend. The asshole tries to grab her, and she dodges him and walks past him and just completely ignores him. Back on the farm, Clark is outside doing different things. Suddenly, he starts picking up sounds with his super hearing. At school, the asshole boyfriend confronts Jordan, and he and his friends push him up against the lockers, threatening him. Jonathan sees what's going on and rushes to the aid of his brother. Clark picks up the sounds of what is going on at the school with his super hearing. Clark is still listening and worried Jordan might lose control again and use his heat vision and hurt himself or someone else. As Jonathan is trying to pull Jordan away from the assholes, he notices Jordan's eyes flash red. Clark uses his speed and ends up at the school in the hallway, just feet away from what is going on. The assholes see Clark and they leave Jordan alone. Jordan realizes very quickly that Clark showing up at that exact moment that he did is not random and not a coincidence. That is when they both realize that he was spying on them with his super hearing. Back at home, they confront Clark about how long he's been doing that, and he never does give them a straight answer. Both the boys become increasingly frustrated and angry with their dad. As they both go inside the house, Clark realizes the huge mistake he made. That night after dinner, Clark and Lois are sitting at the dinner table, drinking some red wine. Lois asks if he has talked to the boys since earlier in the day, to which he says no. She tells Clark to make them the same promise he made her years ago about using his super hearing to spy on them. The next morning, Clark is waiting for the boys out by his truck. The boys come outside and see Clark standing there. Clark apologizes to them both and promises to never again spy on them. At the Smallville Gazette, Lois is at her desk working when a woman named Sharon Powell from the town of New Carthage comes in and tells both Lois and Chrissy about her missing son Derek Powell and that Morgan Edge is involved. Sharon tells them both about her son and the opportunity of a lifetime to which he thought he was getting to work for Morgan Edge. Lois asks why she thinks foul play was involved. Sharon pulls out her cell phone and plays the last message from her son that he left for her, to which he sounds scared and not sure of what is going to happen to him. Outside the Smallville Gazette, a strange man is watching the three women through the window of the building, talking, and he is also taking photos of them. At school, Jordan witnesses Sarah breaking up with her asshole boyfriend. Later, after school, Sarah is at her cheerleading practice. Her mom, Lana, is the cheer coach. After missing several moves, she stops her and the rest of the girls and practically humiliates Sarah in front of the whole team. Sarah gets angry with her mother and decides that she's finally had enough, and she tells her mom that she's quitting cheer, and she walks out of the gym. At football practice, Jonathan notices his brother come running out of the field house in pads, a practice jersey, and helmet. Jonathan asks him what he is doing, and Jordan says he's trying out for the football team. Jonathan stops him and says, "What about your powers?" And Jordan just says that he will go easy. Jonathan is clearly worried that he will not only be humiliated, but he might also lose control and demonstrate his powers again and hurt himself or somebody else. The coach lets Jordan take some reps at cornerback on defense. The play begins and Jordan pushes through several offensive players and sacks the quarterback. Everyone is stunned. The same thing happens on every play. Jonathan can't believe what he is seeing. Later, after practice, Sarah, Jordan, and Jonathan go to a local restaurant to hang out. They talk about Jordan on the football field. Jonathan is tired from running and he is drinking water like crazy. Jordan apologizes to Sarah as he tells her he overheard her and the boyfriend breaking up. Suddenly, Sarah's mom walks in and they end up getting into an intense argument to which the boys become extremely uncomfortable because of what the two are saying and that it is practically happening right in the middle of the restaurant for everyone to hear. Lana makes Sarah leave with her. As they are leaving the restaurant, Clark comes in and tells the boys that Lois is working late, so they decide to eat dinner at the restaurant. That night at the Smallville Gazette, Lois and Chrissy are discussing Sharon Powell and her son Derek, and if any of this is related to Morgan Edge at all. They both hear a loud explosion sound outside. They both run outside to see what that was. They both come outside to see Lois's car on fire. Back at the farmhouse, Jordan and Jonathan both talk, and Jonathan asks his brother why he didn't tell Clark about him playing football. Jonathan is getting jealous of his brother because he has never been into sports or football. Lois is back at home and just standing outside on the front porch. Clark comes out and gives her a glass of red wine and says he figured she could use that after the night she had. She tells Clark that there is still more to all of this than what people are seeing. He responds and says that she must dig deeper. The next day, Clark sees Lana in town and they talk for a little bit. She tells him of what's going on in her family. She also mentions Jordan playing football, to which Clark is totally surprised by. During practice, Jordan notices Clark standing over by the field house. Later that night, Clark and Lois try to talk to Jordan about why it is dangerous for him to join the football team. Jordan gets mad and throws a temper tantrum. Clark tells him to go to his room for his behavior, and he does. Clark goes outside to cool himself off. Lois goes to make sure he's okay, and Lois tells him that 3 of their people's children who worked for Morgan Edge have gone missing, and that she is meeting the parents at a motel in New Carthage to go over all the stuff that they know so far. She borrows Clark's truck for the quick trip. Jonathan talks to his dad about Jordan joining the football team and says that maybe it's a good thing and maybe Jordan needs football. Lois arrives at the Beech Grove Motel in New Carthage. She goes to the door of the motel room they're supposed to be meeting in, and she notices the door has been damaged very badly. Lois walks into a room that is completely ransacked. Lois turns around and notices a very tall man standing near the restroom area of the motel room. He attacks Lois. She is sort of able to fight him off. She stabs him in the side of the head with a pencil. She pulls out her device to summon Superman and presses the button. In a matter of seconds, Superman shows up and drives the man into the wall. As the two square off, Superman goes to thwart his next move when he catches Superman's punch, and Superman realizes something is very different about this guy. He is strong and able to match Superman. He gets Superman to the ground and punches him multiple times in the face. At one point, knocks him out for a few seconds. As this is going on, Lois finds Sharon Powell on the floor in the restroom with a cord wrapped around her neck. Lois tries to revive her, but is unable to do so. Lois hollers for Superman, which wakes him up. The man turns around to see Superman hovering in the room. He goes to attack Superman again, and this time Superman uses his freeze breath to freeze the man and then punches him repeatedly. Superman is able to stop the man. Superman goes to where Lois and Sharon are, and Superman quickly takes Sharon to the hospital. Back in Smallville, Lana Cushing and her daughter Sarah finally have a heart-to-heart talk about things. The next morning on the farm, Clark finds Jordan, and they have their heart-to-heart talk as well. To better keep an eye on his sons, Clark becomes an equipment manager for the high school football team. Lois and Chrissy decide they both must proceed with the story and that it is important that they find out who the man was who attacked Lois and almost killed Sharon. They build themselves an outline from what they already know and start working the story and putting the pieces of the puzzle together with what they already know. The attacker is seen driving down a road at night talking on the phone to someone who he knows, and he tells them that Superman saved Lois and Sharon. What happens next is a shocking cliffhanger when he runs into a young woman who also has powers like him and has super strength, and she kills him using her heat vision. And that is the end of Superman and Lois Season 1, Episode 3, The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower. To sum up this episode, I thought it was another great episode. One thing I loved about it was the fact that we got to see more positive interaction with the members of the Kent family. We actually see them being funny, having fun, laughing, and smiling with each other. I like that this episode deals with family issues, not just with the Kent family, but the other families as well. The episode is mainly about trust and not being someone who spies on the personal lives of others. I really loved the scenes of Lois Lane trying to figure out what happened with Morgan Edge and what he is up to. And now people are starting to come to Lois Lane for help regarding Edge, which in turn puts the intrepid reporter in harm's way, first with her car being set on fire and then almost getting assaulted by a powerful individual who almost killed a woman who came forward to Lois regarding Morgan Edge. I think it is awesome that Jordan is getting some positive things to do, such as playing football, and that now it's something he enjoys. A new question I have now is, who are these powered people that are apparently working for Morgan Edge? Are they Kryptonians? Are they metahumans? Or are they something completely different? The bridge scene in which Superman saves the bridge in China is another tribute and homage moment to Superman. In Superman the movie, Christopher Reeve's Superman saves the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco after an earthquake caused by Lex Luthor is tearing the bridge apart, and Superman saves the bridge. He also saves a bus full of school children from falling off the bridge and into the bay below. So I'm going to say bravo to this scene in Superman and Lois, and that they did this scene, which pays homage to Christopher Reeve's Superman. But in this scene, they put their own spin and twist on it, which was great and amazing, and I loved it. It was a great scene, great action, kind of suspenseful, and a great Superman saving scene, which is what we all like. There are some things that hit home for me in this episode and that I could seriously relate to regarding the boys in this episode. Now let's talk about some other things. There are some things I had problems with in this episode, and here they are. So first off, can we please just get 1 or 2 episodes without Jordan having a temper tantrum? Clark is just worried because of Jordan's powers, because it changes everything, and he just doesn't want Jordan to get hurt or for Jordan to accidentally hurt or kill someone because of it. And that's true. I would be just like Clark, and Clark's just trying to be safe and trying to keep his children safe and other kids safe in the process. So, and I'm just kind of sick and tired of Jordan's attitude and his temper tantrums. So yeah, we need to have less of those. I would just like to see some more episodes where we don't have to see Jordan having a meltdown or temper tantrum or throwing a fit. So what I mean by all that is, when I was watching this scene, I was thinking to myself, kid, you better be glad you got to play football and that your brother gets to play as well, because had it been the grandfather, Jonathan Kent, whether it be Glenn Ford from Superman the movie, Eddie Jones from Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, John Snyder from Smallville, or Kevin Costner from Man of Steel making the decisions, both of the boys wouldn't be playing football at all or be allowed to play, period. So when Jordan starts playing football and shows how good he actually is, I saw jealousy coming from the brother Jonathan. And I saw that coming a mile away, and I knew Jonathan was going to be jealous of him because he's probably a better football player than Jonathan is, or at least he was in this episode. So we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, I saw that jealousy thing coming a mile away. These are the only gripes I had about this episode. Now, with all of that said, I'm going to give Superman and Lois Season 1, Episode 3, The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower, a very super A+. This was just an overall great part of the story this season. I'm really enjoying this show so far. I don't know if anything will ever beat my all-time favorite TV show, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but if anything came close to doing so, it would probably be this show, Superman and Lois. I can't wait to see the next episodes. I'm really anxious to find out about these two powered people, or now just this one powered person, since the lady killed this man who fought with Superman and also tried to assault Lois Lane. But I'm also interested to see if the dark, bad Superman is going to make an appearance later on this season. So, yeah. Okay, that's all I have for this review. I'm going to say good night. God bless. I love all of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.